Today I'm going to be breaking down how you can use Zap Dragons here at Townhall 14 to 3-star any base. So here is the army composition that we are going to be taking a look at, and honestly it's pretty simple. You're going to be coming in with, of course, 4 heroes, but rather than the Barbarian King you're going to be bringing that Minion Prince. He works really well in combination with those dragons. We've got a little bit of a funnel coming in with an E-Dragon, we'll take a look at that in a second, and then of course we have those lightning spells, the Earthquake to combine with them, and we've got multiple different siege machines of choice, including the Flameflinger in our clan castle, and then we are going to be bringing the Blimp, the Slammer, and the Siege Barracks. So let's jump in and we'll break this one down. So the first thing we're going to be doing is dropping down that Queen. She's going to be coming in with her giant arrow. Now typically you're going to want to drop her down from a corner section of the base, just like we have right here. She is going to start from a corner, and we're going to be bringing in the giant arrow alongside that healer puppet. She's going to be firing that arrow all the way through the core, trying to pick off as many buildings as possible, as well as creating that funnel. If you can catch any of the sweepers, if they're pointing in the direction of your troops, that's always going to be a massive benefit as well. Her job: clear this top section of the base. Next up we are going to be bringing an E-Dragon over here towards this left hand side of the base, again just to create that funnel. That's going to be the main job here for that Electro Dragon, creating that funnel on this left hand side. We also have a baby dragon that is going to be coming in again just to help with a little bit of funneling. Once our Queen and the Electro Dragon have done their job, we can get the rest of our troops in, dropping down a couple of those balloons in front to test for any Seeking Air Mines. If you guys didn't see right there, we did actually pick up a Seeking Air Mine pretty early on. We're then going to be going ahead bringing in that Blimp. That Blimp's job here is to fly all the way through and get onto that Town Hall, clear it, and get that first star on the board. Using that Eternal Tome ability alongside the Healing Tome, look at all those bombs that Blimp's going to be picking up. Absolutely beautiful value there, because we'd much rather it hits the Blimp when it's under the Eternal Tome than of course hitting our dragons and balloons. Even if you get a little bit of a split like we have here, we've got some dragons in the core and a couple going off to the left, typically this is not the end of the world. Now when it comes to using your abilities, of course we already saw the Queen ability at the start, the Grand Warden ability popped to help that Blimp get all the way through to the core. We then had the Minion Prince ability. Typically you're going to want to use this just as you progress through the back end of the base, so as you progress past that Town Hall is typically when you're going to want to pop this ability. When your troops are starting to struggle a little bit, you can use that kind of freeze effect from the Minion Prince to slow up those defences and allow your troops a little bit easier access through the back end. Now when it comes to using your Royal Champion, the equipment for her, we're going to be bringing in of course the spears as well as the Seeking Shield. Typically you can pop this as soon as you drop down your Royal Champion, though you can hold on to it if you wish. In this particular example we probably actually didn't even need it at all. We also pretty much could have swagged this Rage spell. It's a really strong strategy, and honestly one of my favourites here at Townhall 14. So progressing through onto that second example, again we're going to be kicking off proceedings with, of course, the giant arrow from that Queen. That's going to be shooting off to this right hand side of the base, and rather than picking off one of the sweepers, instead we decide to go for 2 of the air defences. So there was one air defence here and one was up here. We were able to snipe off both of them with the Queen's ability. So that giant arrow, very effective at pretty much all of the lower town halls. In fact we're seeing it used even at Town Hall 17 quite a lot, and a lot of the time that is to clear out things like air sweepers and air defences when you're coming in with those dragons. Meanwhile we have the Electro Dragon over here towards that left hand side of the base, again doing a marvellous job helping to create that funnel. We'll talk about those lightning spells in a second, but typically what we're doing with them is we're going to be taking down Inferno Towers, Expos, anything like that. But in this particular example you'll see we're going to be dropping down that Blimp all the way through onto the Town Hall. We're going to be freezing it up, letting that Town Hall go down and let these dragons do their work in behind. Again we see that Minion Prince ability. As I said, just as that Town Hall goes down, use it on the back end to freeze up some of those defences, allow your troops to progress on through. Keep an eye on any heavy hitting defences. This includes things like single target infernos, air defences, scatter shots, and even the Town Hall itself. Sometimes enemy heroes can be an issue as well. That's why we have a couple of headhunters in this army composition. But honestly, this is a very dominant strategy. Dragons are typically at every Town Hall pretty viable, and if you can combine them with good equipment on your heroes, good timing on your abilities, and then of course those lightning and earthquake spells, you're going to be able to pick up a lot of value. So in that third and final example, we'll take a second to break down where exactly you're looking to use those lightning spells, because both of these first examples went super quickly and I wasn't even able to actually look at where they use them. But let's jump into that third and final example. If you do want to pick up the link for this army, it is, as always, down in the description below, but let's hop on over to the next one. So moving on to this final example, we will of course kick off proceedings with this Queen's giant arrow ability to kick off proceedings. Unfortunately, I think we were maybe looking to catch the sweepers, but we don't quite manage it on this one. Electro Dragon's going to be coming through from that top section of the base, and let's take a look at where we're going to be using those lightning spells. Typically, we're trying to pick up as much value as possible, so most of the time I would recommend trying to grab something like a single target Inferno, multi-target Inferno, or even scatter shots with the expos, anything like that. There goes the Eternal Tome ability. That's going to be flying all the way overhead, and it looks like we're going to be using those lightning spells. Okay, we're kind of holding on to those lightning spells. Typically, I like to use them at the start of an attack. I don't like holding on to them as late as we are in this particular example. Typically, I would aim to take down the Inferno Towers as you start, so you can get that Queen Charge coming in, of course. You can then get your E-Dragon coming in, and then I would think about getting in those lightning spells. So it looks like in this particular example, we maybe actually forgot to use them, and we end up just kind of sprinkling them about on a multitude of different defenses. This for me definitely isn't what I would be doing. I would always recommend trying to take down, first of all, probably going to be single target Infernos. They can be pretty deadly. Also looking to take down scatter shots if at all possible. And in combination with all that, you can always try and catch expos, air defenses, anything else that's going to be causing your troops issues. But you'll see on this one, we actually didn't zap out anything in particular. We just kind of sprinkled those around, and we end up with all 4 of our heroes on full HP, many dragons left up in this one, and honestly, an incredibly strong strategy. So if you don't feel like bringing those lightning spells, because honestly in this particular example, we probably didn't even need them, you can always swap them out for a heal spell as you progress through into the core, or even more rage spells. But this strategy, honestly, I don't think I need to talk it up anymore. It's very strong, and if you are going to use it, let me know down in the comments. While you're down there, feel free to go ahead and subscribe to us here at the Barracks. We're really trying to push to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.